Right, green reading, which I think a lot of amateurs struggle. I think they get a little bit confused about what they're looking at, and then don't quite know how to sort of work out what they need to then do in terms of the stroke. I've put myself in the hope that you see it on camera. I think probably the biggest slope that I can find on this green. So it can only end badly for me to hopefully give you a little bit of confidence if I don't quite do the right sort of putt. So for me, I will start at a straight line. So when I come to my putt and I'm looking and I'm obviously standing behind the hole and I am analysing what I'm trying to achieve, I instantly go, if I aim straight, will that ball go into the hole? Absolutely not, because I can see there is a massive slope that's going left to right on this putt. So I know that it's not straight. The other thing that I will do, and again, when we're talking about understanding green reading, from the previous video where we're stepping out the putts, I will step the putt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, what that also does, is 9 steps, I've just counted. I now know what sort of elevation change there is. So I know that it's a downhill putt, and it's definitely not straight, because I've obviously worked out if I stand behind it and go in a straight line, will it go in the hole? In my mind, I just visualize that ball rolling, and obviously I can see if I aimed at the hole, it would end up somewhere over there. So this is where I start to bring a little bit of aim point into it, and I mean in a very, very simple way. So you may have seen on telly or any sort of social media, they sort of stand behind the ball and they've got their finger out in front of them, and it might be 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 4 fingers. Now, what they do is they have to calculate the slope, and there's like a percentage. Let's just keep it really simple. If there was a little slope, just count it as a 1, and I'll come into why in a minute. If it's a little bit more, count it as a 2, and obviously the bigger it is, it's just a 3 or a 4, okay? So this type of slope is a lot to me. This feels a massive slope from left to right. I'm going to see this as a 3 or a 4. This is not like a little gentle slope. It's a big slope. Now, you will obviously see people that will stand somewhere in the middle of the line, and they're like feeling the pressure, and they feel more weight on the trail side, so you know it's going right to left. I don't feel like, by all means, you can do it. I think it's, dare I say, a slightly unnecessary part of the routine. I can see that it's downhill, and I can see that it's left to right, and I can see that it's a lot left to right, so I can then go, well, maybe it's a 3 or a 4 rather than a 1 or a 2. Now, this is why you then do the fingers. You line your fingers up, so on the outside, on this side is where the hole was going to be, because the putt is going left to right. If the putt was going right to left, then you do it on this side. So it's going to go, the middle of the hole is going to be here, and I close one eye, and then this side is what we call the aim point, okay? So we're just going to try and keep it nice and simple. Do I have a tee? Oh, I don't have a, oh, I'm going to have to use another ball. So I've said this is a 3. So I'm standing behind the hole, I have 3 fingers up, half the hole is being covered, and then I can roughly work out that there, and if I just go over here, the outside of my 3 fingers is here. Now I'm just going to check to make sure I was somewhere close to that. Yeah, that's pretty good. So from an aim point perspective, if you want to incorporate this style in a really simple manner, it's a big slope, I'm going to call it a 3. If it was a little slope, it's a 1 or a 2. So then I know it's downhill, I know it's 9 steps, so I've got an idea of the length of backswing that I'm going to have. It's going to be somewhere between the inside of my right foot and my big right toe, and then I've got my aim point. Now, if you don't want to do the aim point, what you need to address is what I do, and before I used aim point, is I say, right, if I aim straight, will it go in the hole? No. If I go 1 golf ball to the left, will it go in the hole? No. And then I just try to get as far as necessary, so then I'm happy that I can sort of visualize the ball going into the hole. So I do use a line, and I'll come into whether the line is appropriate for you or not. But I'm gonna aim here, and I'll be honest, I wish I had actually practiced this putt before pressing record, but I genuinely didn't. So I've got my aim point where I'm quite happy. I know it's 9 down the slope, and we're just gonna see how we're getting on. Now I'm standing over the putt, and the more I think about it, the more I feel that it's gonna be more than a 3, it may even be a 4, but we're gonna stick with 3 to start with. I'm already second guessing myself, which is never good. Okay, so 9 steps downhill, inside the right foot, move the right shoulder back. Yeah. So I've got the pace, but you could see the slope was a lot more. So I'm going to do one more. I have picked the worst putt because I wanted you to, like, I can't even keep the ball there. Stay there. No. So the ball would never actually stay on this slope, by the way. So that's my argument for missing the putt. So we're gonna go much further out. So if I did 4, that's over there. So I don't know if you can see the little bit of grass on the left of the ball. I'm nearly going at that, basically. Oh God, this is, yeah, this. So from a reading the green perspective, the simple method is start straight, and if it's not going to go in when you visualize it, which way is it going to go, and how much do you need to aim to the side of the hole for it to visualize going in the hole? I think you can assess the green and the elevation changes through stepping out the putts. And if you want to use a very simple method, which is more of a calculated reading, then aim point is the way to go. Just keep it really simple. If it's a very small slope, then it's a 1. If it's a 2, 3, or a 4, and then it's the same number of fingers as the slope, and you put one side of the finger in the middle of the hole, and then the other side of your finger or fingers is the other aim point, and that's how it works. So, we're gonna finish this video. I feel I need to go more. Again, I'm not convinced. But this ball won't even stay where it's meant to. Okay. If this goes in, then I'll be an absolute hero. Not bad. I'd be quite happy with that, to be fair. This is like the worst putt ever, but I hope that helps. Green reading is tough. Green reading needs practice. I would be using part of my practice time going to different holes, going through my routine, reading the green, and the more you read the green and read putts, the better you'll get at it.